Indiana. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, thanks, Alex. First, I want to say it's well known in the Bitcoin community that Roger Ver is a scammer, and this is his latest scam. Just hours before this interview, he manipulated the price of Bitcoin Cash up 25% just to push his narrative. And I do have a question for him. He's been telling everyone that Craig Wright is Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin, but this can be easily proven through cryptography by signing the Genesis block, which means proving that he mined the first Bitcoin. He cannot do that, but Roger continues telling people that this guy is Satoshi Nakamoto, which is a lie.
He must release the core from Cybertron, the heart of our world. Will you release the core?
Why
haven't traded a single.
Will you release the cube? That's right, it's the cube.
So
are you Megatron? Roger Ver, are you Megatron? If so, prepare for battle.
So I'm not Megatron. I haven't traded a single Bitcoin Core or Bitcoin Cash today. Of course, I'm pleasantly surprised that the price is up 25% today, but that isn't because of me, and I don't know who did it, but I think people understand Bitcoin Cash is useful as money. Bitcoin Core is not. And the developers behind Bitcoin Core don't want it to be useful as money, mainly because they don't even understand what made Bitcoin a success in the first place. In regards to me saying that Craig Wright is Satoshi, I have never said that publicly. I have no idea if he's Satoshi or not, and whoever Satoshi is, wherever he is, he deserves to have absolute complete privacy because that's what he wants out of the world. And whether or not Craig Wright is Satoshi or not, the things that he is saying is spot on. They're exactly in line with what made Bitcoin successful. He has an incredibly deep understanding of economics and the reasons that became a success. Whether he's Satoshi or not, I think he is someone worth listening to.
Okay. Here's my problem. See, I just want to know about Bitcoin and currency and the markets. This is why I always stay out of all this, and why as soon as I get one Bitcoin guest on, it's like boom, 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 more, and then I'm going to be in the middle of all this. I know who the pseudonym or whatever, the Japanese guy, the nom de plume, whatever, or is it a real guy? That's a whole nother area of a soap opera that I don't have the brain space to be involved in with all these other big serious issues happening. So I'm glad we're having a debate, but this is why I stay out of Bitcoin. Good Lord. I mean, Drew, thank you for the call. But I will say this. I don't know Roger Ver. I know he's like one of the kingpins of Bitcoin. Seems like a smart guy. And then all these other guys pile in so quickly that don't like him. It makes my head spin. What's going on here, Roger?
Maybe it's an orchestrated attack. Maybe there are a bunch of people that have been brainwashed by the previous orchestrated attack out there. Anybody with any common sense, you have two forms of Bitcoin. One is fast, cheap, and reliable. The other is slow, expensive, and unreliable.
Sure, but do you see how it all devolved into that discussion instead about the general future about cryptocurrencies, and the establishment clearly is coming after it right now?
Yeah, and I think this is exactly what the establishment would want, a bunch of infighting within Bitcoin so that the cryptocurrency ecosystem so that people are busy fighting with each other rather than fending off a bunch of regulation and control by governments. And congratulations to the disruptors that you guys have succeeded in disrupting this incredibly liberating tool for the entire planet. But you've just slowed us down. You haven't stopped us. We're still going to enable every single human being.
Well, I think the graph shows that. I mean, it goes up and down, but over time, it's going straight up.
It is. It's more useful than dollars. It's more useful than euros. It's more useful than the Japanese yen, and there's a limited supply. You don't have these central banks that can print as many as they want at any time for any reason. The supply is limited by the laws of mathematics, not the promise of some politicians. And we all know how much we should trust the promise of a politician.
Let's go to, let's see here, Stefan in Pennsylvania. Go ahead, Stefan. Thanks for calling.
Hey, Alex, great to talk to you. I just have really one point to say. I'm kind of new with the whole Bitcoin phenomenon. I just recently started around this December to even purchase it. And one thing I do want to say, though, that I don't think anybody really noticed is on the 21st of December, Trump signed in that executive order targeting, serious human rights abusers and offenders, and since then,
money laundering.
Crackdowns.
Yeah,
exactly. So, and if you actually look at the Bitcoin chart on Google, its highest peak was at around 17.7 on December, I believe, 22nd. It's literally the same time frame. So, from what it looks like to me, I mean, I know there's a lot of speculation that Bitcoin is used as like a dark currency for, underground transactions because of its anonymous, quality to, basically pass money from party to party without,
Sure, but you're saying if you look at the graph from that date, Bitcoin starts going down right around that point. I would imagine a bunch of other underground currencies did as well.
Yeah, exactly. So what I think is a lot of these people that are aware that this crackdown is about to happen, they're selling everything off and jumping ship, like how the Rothschilds are based. Did at
the end of the Napoleonic Wars in 1815, yeah.
Exactly. So I think that is one of the it might be a contributing factor. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert. I just wanted to kind of call in because I had this little...
Out of the mouths of babes, brother. Yeah, I don't have my head down in the weeds on this. I'm kind of up here. Man, exactly is that I see it peaking and now this and all of it tied together. And I don't think Trump's targeted himself, but I think what he's done does go after stuff that is beneath the radar. But it's, not Bitcoin's fault that ISIS uses it, or, I mean, it's just, criminals are always going to use everything. We can't ban guns because criminals use it. Any comments on that, Roger?
Yeah, the currency that's used by the most terrorists to do the most bad things around the world is the U.S. dollar. Yet we don't hear the politicians claiming we should ban the U.S. dollar. And if these terrorists start using Bitcoin instead of the U.S. dollar, that's a sign that Bitcoin is a better form of money than the U.S. dollar. So it shouldn't be something that we look at negatively when people start using Bitcoin for bad things. That just means that it's a better form of money than the other alternatives out there. And at the end of the day, people should be able to use the best form of money that's available to them.
Well, the first thing